Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the One Step Better podcast with Mike and with Matt. Really appreciate you tuning in, listening to us.
Today's sponsor is Cloud Accountant Staffing. Every firm owner I talk to is asking the same question right now. Should we hire offshore? I'll tell you what we're doing about it. We've hired offshore before, and we're actively working with Cloud Accountant Staffing right now on a couple of roles at Patrick Accounting. The reason we pick them, they take the fear out of it. Disclosure, security, onboarding someone across the world. They've walked tons of firms through it. Their portal is really easy to use. It lets you browse real candidates that are available to hire right now, book interviews yourself. You can have them vet them for you. They help you with the whole process. So head to cloudaccountantsstaffing.com right now. Links in the show notes.
There's so much change going on right now. I think it is one of those things where talked about ideal. We're talking a lot about good, bad, and ugly. The role of the people that we hired as a staff accountant is different today than it was 5 or 10 years ago. The role of a manager today is probably different than it was 5 or 10 years ago. Our salespeople, are they selling the same thing they were selling, 5 or 10 years ago? Our payroll, we think back way back 10 years ago or 15 years ago when we were doing payroll processing, we had payroll processors in the office. We don't have payroll processors in a payroll firm doing a lot of payroll today.
We used to ask in our interviews here's some numbers. Tell me the FICA tax on that.
Correct.
Because we cared that you actually understood payroll tax or payroll rules.
And now they are really
a
tech support agent. Really, if you think about what they really do, they're supporting people in using the technology that we use to get their work done. The engine of the tax is already happening. We already have that set up. We don't need them to know how to calculate FICA and Medicare and what the limits for SUTA are. And that doesn't really matter. That's the same as our bookkeepers, our staff accountants today. It's no different than that. I don't necessarily need to be a really good data enter person. I need to be able to connect systems.
I was thinking about that when I was getting ready for some of the sessions I'm doing next week. The thing that I don't think that I really ever kind of thought through ahead of time is a lot of our roles that we've hired for have been to fill a need that we have right then. It's I need somebody to do the bookkeeping work, so I'm going to hire a staff accountant. Over time, that person may, let's say they're here for 6 or 7 years and they're moving up in the organization, different responsibilities. And that next step of role doesn't always match their skill level or their giftedness. And I struggle with that because
we talked about that a little bit.
We talked about this in our leadership meeting yesterday, where it's I need a different type of person to fill this different type of role, but I also want the institutional knowledge that my team currently has in that different type of role.
I mean, if you think about our team, we've been growing managers now growing managers. We hire managers today. We hire staff accountants that we expect to grow into senior accountants who grow into managers who, in theory, will grow into a team lead. Those are way different. The expectations I have for a team lead is managing a team, people management, the technical abilities, the ability to understand our systems and our processes, and then make sure that all that's being handled correctly. If they were hired as a staff accountant, how did I develop them into the team lead? That is way different.
And we've always incentivized
production
for other things.
Yeah, we
not
incentivize
the stuff we're trying to grow them into.
Correct. Our model, the paths of the model is we pay on a percentage of production, which is how much work are you getting out the door? And, thinking about it from an assembly line, hey, if you get 10 widgets out this month, you get X dollars, you get 12 widgets out, you get more money. How do you get 14 widgets out? That's what we've been compensating for. And so when I think about our team, how we're compensating, what we want as far as who's doing the work. So we want managers to pass down work to seniors and seniors to pass down work to staff. Well, if they're getting paid based on the number of widgets to get out the door, they no longer getting the widgets out the door, so they don't get paid as much. Why? What's the motivation of that?
Yep.
So we have got I think there's compensation issues. It's hiring and development of our people issue when it comes to how the work's evolved. And if you think you're hiring a heads down bookkeeper today in our office, that role does not exist. It just does not. Now, I also need my people to be able to coach and teach a client on, hey, here's how you make sure you handle that deposit correctly in QuickBooks. Or here's how you make sure that you're closing your till correctly in the point of sale every day so that the sales report comes over the right way we need to be. That's their job. Not, okay, we have 40 checks to enter into the books. That doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. And so that is where we have not necessarily intentionally enough defined the new roles.
Yeah. And I'm a little bit worried that the skill set that is needed for that new role it's definitely not the same, but I struggle with, can our current profile of a teammate adapt to that new role?
Correct.
Like, is that skill set so different that somebody who would be good at the traditional staff accountant role can't be good at a team lead type of role? Like, is that so at odds with each other that it doesn't exist? I struggle with that.
Well, I struggle with it too. And, we've talked about this a lot, which was, we used to hire staff accountants that we think would be staff accountants forever. And then we're like, well, that doesn't really make sense in the evolution of where we're going, because the reality is I need to get the foundational learning done. Also, we hire a kid out of college. Honestly, they don't really get a great baseline of actually doing what we do on a daily basis. So that learning curve for them is a couple of years and knowing what we do and how the process works and how the tools work. I mean, they've probably never opened a bookkeeping software before. They've definitely never done a tax return before, never touched a sales tax return. They've never, actually probably really reconciled a bank statement from an actual bank statement.
Mm-hmm. They've
only probably did a theoretical one, learning it through accounting. My daughter is a great example of this. Mallory is, she's been here, realistically in this role now 6 months. I mean, it's just way different. She's like, I'm not sure I want to sit behind a desk every day. I'm not sure that this is what I want to do forever. I'm like, I get it. I wouldn't want to do that either, because that's not the role anymore.
Yep.
And so understanding that is going to be super important. I think that is when you ask me what I feel like we still struggle with, the evolution of staff development is really the big one we need to work on.
Yeah, which is, that's partly just it's staying ahead of the market to some extent too. Because there's a little bit of fear of what does the role of an outsourced accounting firm look like in maybe 15 years, 10 years.
Well, my fear is you get to the AI robots, all get synced up. They do the books for you. Well, if they're paying us to do the stuff and the bots are doing the stuff, they don't need to pay us to do it. But I need someone to have advice. And we just talked about that our clients really don't ask us for advice. So what are we selling?
Mm-hmm.
And so my big things are, my big rock this quarter was defining, what's our deliverable going to be? What's the product and service that we're selling to our customer today? Is it going to evolve? It's going to evolve. It depends to what. I think that the speed of information and the desire to get that information is getting faster and faster. Is that I know that if I want to buy something on Amazon, I click one button and I have preferences. It says, here's the credit card you always want to use and your delivery address. It shows up the next day.
And that's even getting quicker.
Yes. And they got robots doing that. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Yeah. What do you kind of think about as like the big things that you still think we need to work on heavily?
I still think that it is around the people piece. Similar but different. I feel like we're missing that leadership development layer of having, we have our leadership team that has historically had a team underneath them. And that was really the tier of leadership. We had other roles that had some hierarchy to it, but it wasn't necessarily you're going to lead people roles. And now that we have grown to the point where we actually need another tier of leaders, I know that I haven't done a good job of developing the leader developers. Instead, it's just been trying to develop the leader. And so that's a little bit of, we're not great at that. It's something we have to get figured out. I truly believe that our own success is limited to our own ability to lead. And that's an area that is limiting.
That's your theory, law of the lid.
That's John Maxwell. I definitely don't want to take credit for that, but that's the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership. Law number 1, the law of the lid.
Yeah.
And it's something that, how much time do we devote to it? What are the right resources? Do we have the right people in place to do those things?
I wonder if we have a realistic expectation of what true capacity is today.
Yeah.
And are we staffed for it appropriately? Are we compensating our people on the right things? Are we rewarding and guiding them for their best long-term for the firm and for them? Like that's what I struggle with.
On a little bit different angle, not the people side, but I said this yesterday in our leadership meeting. In a perfect world, I wish that we owned our own technology. I am concerned a little bit about. There's always the chance, and I know this part of this is a little bit of irrational fear, but if QuickBooks decided to pull the plug tomorrow, what would that look like on our work side? If iSolve says, "Hey, we're no longer going to have a partner track," what does that look like? We lease in some ways.
Yeah, we lease
every bit of technology that we use. We don't have anything that we use on a normal basis that are actually ourselves owned. And that's a little bit of
we've
of a
never
struggle.
developed. I mean, we've developed some little tinkering
We've
software.
played with some stuff, yeah, but
correct.
never
But we're not
enterprise
developers.
level
We
type
never
stuff,
we don't have enterprise level software. We don't have any builders of technology on our team. We've, in today's world, I would love to have a leader over all things AI for us and all things technology. And I haven't really looked that hard, but I don't even know where to start to look.
Yeah.
We've got some partners that we've partnered with that are great. I've really enjoyed working with Opser, and we've got some things going on with Atlas, and we've got some stuff going on with a number of different vendors. But it makes me think okay, we really need somebody to kind of own this whole piece of our organization, because
if that's where the world is going and we want to stay in front of that, then
better get there.
We got to get that figured out. And even on some level, the world of software is dramatically changing. And so the reliance upon software vendors, I don't super love that.
I don't like paying them rent every month for the software either.
That's for sure. That's for sure. Golly, we spend close
a lot of
to
money.
about $1.5 million a year in basically leased software.
Right.
And it's like, I don't super love that. And also I know that just to go out and say, hey, we're going to start developing our own stuff is a ridiculous claim. Cause that is a huge lift. And I'm not naive to that, but man, if I could snap my fingers and just make something true, that would probably be the thing.
That'd be huge.
That'd be a big deal. One of the questions here that I thought was a really good question, Matt, what are the things inside the firm right now that would surprise people if they knew? Another way of saying that is, what are some of the things that we struggle with that from the outside looking in looks like we have it all figured out?
I start with sales and marketing. We've been very successful in developing what I think is networked or people-focused sales processes. So our team creates a network, we get referrals, we have partnerships that we've created, but we do not have a sales system that's very systematized to replicate that. Marketing is something that we have reiterated and tried different things and continue to try different things. We have never seen what I would say is a systematized marketing engine that generates new sales that turn into money in our firm.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've done a good job of finding events for us to be face-to-face at, and a network partner that refers us a bunch of work, or we've created a good partnership with them on, but I don't think we have a systematized process for sales and marketing. You agree with that?
Yeah, I would.
And we've tried a billion things.
It's one of those things that we talk about often. And I do think people look at Patrick Accounting and
you're growing, and we're 7 times in a row. Inc. 5000. That's great. We are growing.
Yeah.
And it's growing in spite of these things.
And it feels like it's something that we've never been great at. Something that we've had some success for sure. But
yeah, and what is great? I mean, my definition of, if I give my numbers and we've seen really nice sales outcomes of new growth revenue every year for the last 10 years. And yet I still don't think we have a great system. And if you look back over the last 10 years against the firms I compare with, we're pretty much near the top pretty consistently. It's not.
It eats at you though.
It bothers me.
It eats at you because it's like it feels like we've never hit our full potential there.
Correct. I'm like, what if, I would think back to when Rick was here, and it's like, Rick would sell $350,000 a year, and he would in all of our PASMA stuff, he would win. My mind is win. If he sells the most, he wins. That's how I think of it. And I'm going, man, if he would have actually like prospected a little bit, think about what he could have sold. Because that was just stuff that was handed to him. Not just, he worked his butt off, but at the same time, it's like, man, what could have happened
It made it look a little too easy.
Yeah. He's like, I got this referral group that pays, I get a couple deals a month from them. And if I do 50 deals a year, I'm the winner. And I'm going, man, we could have done 200 deals. We had the ability to do it then.
Yeah.
And now it's kind of the same thing. We just hired numbers 3 and 4 salesperson. We'd lost a couple people last year, which I hated to lose. They're really good people. Both had really good opportunities. But on our side now, we now got them replaced. They'll have to hit the ground running. And I'm going, I hope we have a good system for them to go repeat it instead of just like kind of hope and prayer.
Yeah. There's a little bit of a doubt.
We didn't tell them that when they interviewed.
No. We're like talking about everything's perfect, right?
Yeah.
There's a little bit of doubt though in your mind.
Yeah.
Do
we have enough leads?
Do we have the right system? Are we running the right plays?
Correct.
To be successful. Yeah.
Because we talked about our playbook for a long time, and the sequences that we were running. I'm going, that's not really working.
Yeah.
I mean, it might work, but we're spending a lot of time and energy for not to generate the ROI I would expect.
Sales and marketing is a good answer. That was not my first.
What's your answer?
My first reaction to that was the box.
Oh yeah.
We talk a lot, even
we talked about this yesterday
up on stage, and we talk about our process, our systems, and how it is dialed in. And this is the only way. We have one way to do every single thing, and everything is hunky dory.
It's all yes, but in it.
And it's all yes, but I think people would be surprised to see how many exceptions to the rule we actually have across our 400 accounting clients. And this was a little bit whenever we purchased Knight Home Care or Knight Financial. I don't even remember the name of it now. Knight Financial Home Care. Yeah, whatever it was. Amy Knight's firm, right? When we purchased that firm, and Amy came on. Some of those.
So I thought you guys did everything the same.
It was. Oh well, I thought it was this way. Well, it was that way, but for this we do that way. And in some of those conversations, I remember thinking like, maybe this isn't as dialed in as I thought it was.
Correct.
And even, as Kim is getting ready to talk about our CAS services and our bill pay services next week, I know that her presentation is going to be very much, this is the way we do it. Because I've heard, she's done other PASMA events, and she's doing those sessions the way she should do them. This is the way that we do it. This is the way we do it. But it's really, she's pounding the drum of what is ideal.
Correct.
But if you ever peek behind the curtain, you would see, that client, we
still that one on desktop.
We're unable to get all of their statements, so we have to wait for them to send it to us. Or that one is still on desktop, but here's the reason why. Or that one is, we still
talked about this in leadership yesterday
all
too.
Those exceptions, but anytime we get on a stage or have a platform, we do talk about this is the ideal way. This is the only way,
which is not true,
and it's not true.
Ideal and acceptable, there's always a little gap. I think of them as guardrails on the side of the road. We have exceptions because I can't form a one line, single file line for every 400 clients in assembly line.
Yeah.
That's my goal. What we have probably let happen more over the last couple of years is the exception, little tiny exception here and tiny exception here. Next thing I know, we have 250 little tiny exceptions and death by 1,000 paper cuts.
Yeah.
And so that's where I think our team, we talked about this yesterday, which was maybe it makes sense for us to team to what is the ideal way, and then look at your clients, see how far they're off of that ideal way. And then we can start to kind of get them reined back into closer to single file line.
Yeah.
It's like kindergartners walking down the hallway.
Yeah. Yes. And part of that's from the growth.
Yeah.
As we've had to add staff members to our team. Well, they're coming in sometimes with some preconceived ideas of how things work, sometimes not, but there's anytime you have 10 people doing the same thing, there's going to be a little variance in how it's getting done. And when you multiply that, we got
think about on the payroll side, and the payroll side is kind of simple, like no client, do we enter their hours?
Yeah.
Well, we don't ever import their time. Well, there's a couple clients we import their time.
Yeah. Never is not really never.
Never is never really never.
Yeah. And so if you ever do come to one of our events or you do hear us talk and we start to say those words, we never call us out on it. You know,
Yeah.
ask for the real.
Is it 100%? Well,
Yeah.
probably not.
Yeah, probably not.
This is where the good, bad, and ugly comes in, right? Like we have an ideal where we want to be,
Mhm.
and we have a reality of where we are. That's for everything we are, and that's kind of the mantra of the pod. That's the mantra of our event next week, which is this is something that's never going to be. This is an unsolvable puzzle that we have to keep working on. This is golf. This is golf. You know, you're never going to shoot
Chasing the perfect game, baby.
Yeah, you're never going to shoot an 18.
Yeah.
You know, it's not going to happen. But the gap between 18 and 65 would be really good when I'm at 95.
Shoot 18 on one hole.
I've done that before. It's been a while, but I've probably done that.
Probably
Mason, you shot an 18 on one hole yet? No, that's when you quit way before then, right?
That's right. I pick up the ball.
Yeah, it's called a double bogey. Move on. Right down a 6. Yeah, right down a 6. Let's move on.
Yeah. Max bogey, right, guys?
Yeah,
right, guys?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But that's kind of where I'm at. So I think that's what I'm hoping we get out of the event next week, which is, you know, this is a journey, and I'm really excited the journey we're on, the journey that I'm excited about being in a new building and what it reinvigorates us to get to. The ability for us to continue to grow our team and to keep improving things, but it's still always going to be a work in process.
Yeah. Yeah. We got a lot of more talking points that we can hit on, and we'll probably throw those into another episode here in a little bit, but really appreciate you guys tuning in. Let us know how you like the new studio. See you guys next time.